Stephanie, would you like to take the roll, please?
Yes, of course. Moving down the list, Senator Katie Fry Hester.
Good morning. This is Bridget. Senator Hester is joining from her phone. I'm not sure if she's able to get the audio to work right now.
Okay, thanks for letting us know. Delegate Lorg Charkoudian. Andrew Place.
Present.
Landon Fayrig.
Present.
Simpson. Christine Sismadia. Carol Lane. Jeff Shaw.
Present.
Thanks, Jeff. Nancy Sopko. Mark Zucca.
Present.
Okay, over to you, Andrew.
I believe Christina just joined.
That is noted.
Morning, Christine. All right, our agenda is one issue today. We're to see if we can work through and finalize any recommendations to go forward to the full commission. With that, Stephanie, would you like to put the working document up on the screen, please?
Can you all see that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Which one would you like to start with, Andrew?
All right, we'll go with number one there. The recommendation is Maryland must take short-term actions to address energy capacity constraints. Specifically, the state should, and then we have two clauses there. Establish a process for the PUC to order utilities to purchase and install battery storage and other demand response systems on the distribution grid, provided that they are cost effective in adding reliability to the grid and avoiding or delaying other capacity cost increases and or transmission upgrades. And then B, a second clause, shift the utility scale solar program from a REC-based subsidy model to a competitive bid similar to New Jersey, New York, and Illinois. PSC would consider and award bids at fixed prices. Ratepayers would pay the difference between the energy revenue and the fixed guaranteed price as a variable price REC. This would also allow the PSC to incorporate locational value of generation as well as incorporate storage in some bids as appropriate. The floor is open for discussion. Seeing none, if I may move to accept that language as written. Is there a second? Landon seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries as written unanimously. Thank you very much. All right, the second proposed recommendation is in the longer term, the state needs a regular process for more holistic energy system assessments. This could be something akin to an integrated resource plan and provide some direction on achieving clean, affordable, and reliable energy in the future. The plan must include reasonable projections for energy demand and strategies for meeting those demands in a regional context with associated impacts on greenhouse gas emissions, ratepayer impacts and affordability, equity considerations, and reliability and resiliency. The structure must ensure actionable outcomes and include annual or biennial updating of solution sets. The Energy Resilience and Efficiency Working Group shall propose a framework for such a planning mechanism by January 2025. The floor is open for discussion.
Hi, Andrew. I'm sorry. A couple of us were on a link that was sent out earlier, and apparently there was a new link. So I think there's like 3 or 4 people. There were like 6 people there with me who may have missed the beginning of what we're doing. I just got them this link, so now they're joining here. If you want to just remind us what exactly we're doing, there were 2 links that I think got sent out for this meeting.
All right. Very much apologies for the confusion. The Stephanie, as I was reading, I was seeing the pings come in and I wasn't sure who was joining. I couldn't see. Stephanie, would it be of value to take the role again so we have the full complement here?
Of course I can do that. Let me stop presenting for a second. Okay. Senator Katie Fry Hester.
Hello, this is Bridget again. She's joining from her cell phone.
Okay, thanks, Bridget. Delegate Lord Charkoudian.
I am now here.
Andrew Place.
Present.
Landon Fayrig.
Present.
Marie Simpson. Christine Sismadia.
Present.
Carol Lane. Jeff Shaw.
Present.
Nancy Sopko. Mark Zucco.
Present.
Great. Back to you, Andrew.
All right, and I believe Senator Hester is now joined as well. I see here on the bottom. All right, given we have a number of people joining here separately, if it suits the group, may I suggest we go back to that first recommendation and take the vote again, with an opportunity for those to discuss who are not here.
Certainly, Andrew. I think it'd be a motion to reconsider.
Thank you very much. Is there, if I could, I will make that motion to reconsider. Is there a second?
I second it.
And I'm sorry, and who was that who seconded?
Lord Charkoudian.
All right, thank you. Yeah, thank you for the record. All right, we will vote on that just for the reconsideration. Those in favor of the motion, please please just respond by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? No opposed. All right, the motion is back open for reconsideration. I will read it again. The proposed motion I'm reading is the recommendation 1 in the text ahead of you. Maryland must take short-term actions to address energy capacity constraints. Specifically, the state should, and then there are 2 following clauses. Clause A, establish a process for the PSC to order utilities to purchase and install battery storage and other demand response systems on the distribution grid, providing that they are cost-effective in adding reliability to the grid and avoiding or delaying other capacity cost increases and or transmission upgrades. Second clause B, shift the utility scale solar program from a REC-based subsidy model to a competitive bid similar to New Jersey, New York, and Illinois. PSC would consider and award bids at fixed prices. Ratepayers would pay the difference between the energy revenue and the fixed guaranteed price as the variable priced REC. This would also allow the PSC to incorporate the locational value of generation, as well as incorporate storage in some bids as appropriate. Having read the motion, is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in, and I'm on my screen now, I'm not seeing who's joining. Could Jess Silver just admitted, joined. All right. With that, all those in favor of the motion as read, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, the motion carries without dissent. All right. Proposed recommendation 2. In the longer term, the state needs a regular process for more holistic energy system assessments. This could be something akin to an integrated resource plan and provide some direction on achieving clean, affordable, and reliable energy in the future. The plan must include reasonable projections for energy demand and strategies for meeting those demands in a regional context with associated impacts on greenhouse gas emissions, ratepayer impacts and affordability, equity considerations, and reliability and resiliency. The structure must ensure actionable outcomes and include annual or biennial updating of solution sets. The Energy Resilience and Efficiency Working Group shall propose a framework for such a planning mechanism by January 2025. Is there a motion to move this into discussion?
I move this into discussion. This is Lorg.
Thank you, Delegate.
Second.
Is there a second? I believe that was Landon.
Correct.
All right. The floor is open for discussion.
So this is Christine, and I think this is a smart strategy. A lot of other states are doing something similar. So I would support this kind of approach. Just remind me, is this something that we would categorize under kind of all the other studies that we were looking at, or we would look at this separately?
The intent would be look at it separately.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what we've discussed as a white paper that we will draft and present in January.
Andrew, this is Senator Katie Hester, but just to be clear, we want the white paper to articulate what the energy system, like, assessment could look like, but we're not advocating for the white paper. We're actually advocating for the integrated resource planning, right?
Correct. Yes.
And if I could just add, I think, Christine, in my mind, the difference between this and like the next, I think it's the next one, or it's one of the things, is that the studies that we've listed are one-time studies. And this is actually establishing as policy in the state that on a regular basis, we do this planning and projections and that it happens regularly in perpetuity. I think that's the distinction between this and the studies.
Got it. That makes sense.
Do we need to add like the word ongoing, or does regular process cover it?
I'm good with adding ongoing. I think when we do the white paper, it'll be more clear. And we can add ongoing here, but I think since we'll have hopefully a white paper that's a lot more detailed about what it's supposed to look like, that it would be pretty clear at that point. But I'm also fine adding ongoing before regular.
And I'm fine either way.
All right. Unless someone objects, let's consider that added. Further discussion?
I was going to move favorable on this recommendation.
Yeah.
Second?
All right. It's been moved to be favorable. All those in favor of moving this, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries without objection. Thank you. All right, the proposed recommendation 3 in front of you states, in support of the state energy planning framework, Maryland must invest in a user-friendly, transparent model for statewide planning to inform policy and administrative decisions. The model should enable cost-benefit analysis of power prices by resources, be detailed enough to enable location value planning, and support the transition to a clean energy workforce. The model should also consider time horizons for commercialization of energy technologies and when those technologies may appear in the market. Is there a motion to consider this recommendation?
I move we consider the recommendation.
And I'm sorry, for the record, who's moving?
It's Laura Jacudian.
All right, thank you, Delegate. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, thank you, Landon. The floor is open for discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the language as written, as stated, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries without dissent. Thank you very much. All right, proposed recommendation 4. The state should conduct the following immediate study needs in parallel to the extent possible in order to support long-term energy system assessments and energy planning. A study on reconductoring opportunities in the state. Feasibility studies for the placement of SMRs on former fossil fuel electricity generator sites. C, analysis to determine if Maryland's offshore wind projects could be interconnected with Salisbury substations and the feasibility of building in-state transmission from the offshore wind interconnects to Maryland and load centers. D, study on the viability of energy storage as a transmission asset. And E, analysis of land in the state to identify land suitable for solar energy development. Is there a motion to consider the proposed recommendation?
So moved.
I'll
Landon?
second it. And I would like to add a suggestion that the analysis for the offshore wind, just to be clear, that is sort of, I'm trying to think of what the language is. So like new Maryland offshore wind or Maryland offshore wind projects that don't currently have an interconnection agreement. So just to be clear that we're not, analysis determine if, like, instead of new, I just changed, sorry. If Maryland offshore wind projects that don't currently have an interconnection agreement could be interconnected with Salisbury, because we don't want to change any of the interconnections that currently exist.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Does that suffice then?
That's good with me. Yep.
All right. Unless there's objection, let's consider that amended in language. Mark has your hand up.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Mark Zuka. And I apologize if this was already discussed or clarified earlier, but on A, the study of reconductoring, are we targeting transmission line reconductoring there, or are we looking at any power line reconductoring?
I would posit that this is transmission focused. But is that the intent of the working group, or would it include distribution?
I thought, Andrew, I would agree with you that the original intent was for this to be transmission level.
And that was my understanding as well. I would just propose we just add in transmission line in front of reconductoring, just to be clear.
All right. Any objection to that amended language? All right. Further discussion?
Yeah, Jeff Shaw here at SMECO. Two friendly amendments to offer to spell out what SMR stands for in front of it. Just in case those reading the document after the fact don't know. And then on letter E, that we add storage behind solar. If we're going to identify the land for solar, let's take a look at storage at the same time.
Any objection to the friendly amendment? Seeing none. And as a friendly amendment, I might put a comma in on the first line. The state should conduct the following immediate study needs, and then comma in parallel to the extent possible. But the friendliest of amendments. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Thank you, Landon. Is there a second?
Second?
Delegate Charkoudian. Thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries without objection. Thank you very much. That is that's the universe of proposed recommendations that the working group had recommended we put forward. Any other? We have historical at the bottom of the document. There are some of our historical ones that we intended to, or were intended to be tabled for future consideration. But this is a moment if one of the working group members wants any reconsideration, please stay still. Otherwise, we will continue to have those on hold for future consideration. All right. Hearing none. All right. Well, that was, I would say, incredibly efficient. Thank you for all. And I hope no one is doing that because it's the middle of the night for me. But we know we've been discussing this for quite some time. And we have, now that our agenda is complete, I would like to open the floor for public comment for a few minutes. If there a member of the public would like to make a comment, please raise your hand and I will recognize you. Jeff?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you very much. I'm fortunate to be able to attend this meeting. Thanks for the privilege. We had some difficulty naturally with the address for this meeting to take place. Came in right in the middle of voting. So I take it that these proposals that you have reviewed and voted on, they are all passed, correct?
Yes, and because of that glitch, we went back to the beginning and started from the top. And these now, as a matter of process, are recommendations that go forward to the full commission for their consideration at their, I believe it's a September 31 commission meeting.
And how does this affect community solar projects? And how do these recommendations, how would they, as far as the option of community solar, are they going to be affected by these? And if so, what do you forecast their effect will be?
If anybody else wants to answer this, yeah, go ahead, Delegate Sharkedian.
Yeah, hi, Jeff. It's my sense that there's not an immediate effect. I think that in an ideal world, if we're really looking at how are we going to, some of the planning around the states meeting our own load forecast, so the energy planning, I think, what it's going to call for and what it's going to clearly direct is that we need more in-state solar and more in-state storage probably associated with that solar. And then I think that we've also got these recommendations about increasing our understanding of where to put it. So it's my sense that in the long term, that ought to have a positive effect on community solar. I don't think that in the very near term, either of those things are gonna either speed up or slow down community solar. But I think in the long term, as we do energy planning and really get clearer about our resource adequacy in the state, we're going to need to build more generation in the state, and that's going to be all the different kinds of clean generation. So that's my take. That's my take on it. But I don't think there's an immediate 1, 2, 3 year effect on where community solar is right now.
Thank you very much. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Others? Hearing none, I look forward to our next meeting of the working group, October 8th, in person, location yet to be determined. And thank everyone for their time throughout this whole process over the past few months. And if there's no further comments, we will adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the morning.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks so much.